Governor John Kasich, congratulations.
Well, Hugh, it was, thank you. Thank you very much. It really feels great to have had that kind of a win.
What do you put that down to? Because 64% in a purple state makes people stand up and say, what in the heck is Kasich doing there to get so many? I think 1 out of 4 Democrats actually voted for you. They didn't choose to stay home or not to vote. They actually pulled the lever for Kasich.
You know, Hugh, I think the other thing is, not bragging, but just pointing something out, I think we got like 26% of the African-American vote, which is really terrific, too.
Yep.
Look, I mean, you and I have been talking about these things for a long time. The number one purpose for all of us is job creation. If you're not creating jobs, then nothing's going to work. But fortunately, we're up 250,000, and we are running a surplus. And then, as I like to tell you, Hugh, that when you're doing that, then you have an obligation to reach out to people. So, you know, we've been able to provide help to the mentally ill. Instead of they were in a default situation where you ended up in a prison, and that's not right. And we still have a long way to go on that. But we're pulling the folks out of the shadows, so the mentally ill they're going to get treatment so they can lead a normal life. The drug addicted, we're making sure that we're in a position of where we can give them a chance to redeem their life. The working poor, so that they have some kind of rational health care. If you've got a child that's autistic, you're going to be able to get insurance, which you couldn't get before. If you're developmentally disabled, we're trying to put you in as much of a regular workplace as possible. So, I like to think of it as a 360 program. Create the jobs, build prosperity, and leave no one behind. And with our friends in the minority community, we're fulfilling state law and making sure that we can help folks in some way to create entrepreneurship.
Now, Governor, presidents in their second term have been jinxed over the last 3 decades. What about governors in their second term? What's your agenda with the legislature? What do you want them to do?
Well, look, we've got to, again, you got to keep creating jobs. And secondly, we have too high of an income tax in Ohio, and that's not a good thing. And we got like 100 things we're going to do. We can chew gum and walk at the same time. Workforce development, trying to get a handle on the cost of higher education, trying to get people excited in K through 12, and yet having accountability in the classroom. The list just goes on and on. Welfare reform, we want welfare 2.0. If you're getting something, we want to combine what you get with job training, with businesses involved so that you can get a job. It's not that complicated, right? And there'll be a lot of exciting things we'll do because we are basically an idea administration, and we're just going to keep pushing the ideas. And, hey, look, Ohio. 86 out of 88 counties. That's just unbelievable.
Oh, I don't think maybe George Voinovich carried Warren once, but I don't think any Democrat president or governor, any Republican candidate for president or governor has ever carried my hometown, and you did, so hats off. Let me ask you, though, the fact of the matter remains that there have been 4 huge elections in my lifetime. We're about the same age, but there was 1980, there was 1994, there was 2010, and there was 2014. These are great elections for the Republicans. You've been involved in 3 of the 4 of those. And what made Tuesday night happen? What was the national story, John Kasich?
Well, I think there was largely a rejection of President Obama and a lack of excitement, I should say, on the part of the voters. A lot of Democrats just didn't get out and vote. They were disappointed or they were out of energy, and Republicans wanted to go out and have a message. Now, those places and those states where Republicans actually had a message, where they had actually accomplished things, then I think you saw stronger results. But, to me, Hugh, the only way to be successful in politics is to be promoting ideas. You can't run against people. You got to run for them. You got to run for ideas, and you got to get them out there. So if we covered those elections, 1980, the deal in 1980 was Reagan, had a couple of things he wanted to do: fix the economy, break down the Berlin Wall. People went, enough. Yeah, I got that. I think that makes sense. If you go forward into, I don't remember the
94,
other mentioned, but
1994.
94. I think 94 we had the contract with America.
Yep.
It wasn't just that the people were frustrated with President Clinton, but we also had the contract with America. Ideas move things. I think President Obama won because people felt, okay, maybe we can have a different way. It really hasn't turned out that way. And in this election, this was like, okay, we've got to reset things. And just because I happen to be a Democrat or a Republican doesn't mean you're going to get my vote. That's what I kind of think.
Now,
what do you think? What do you think it is?
I think it's because Americans want a U-turn. They tried big government and it doesn't work. They want to try government that works as opposed to either big or small. They want it to work. Paul Ryan, your colleague and friend, was on the show on Tuesday night, and he believes that a budget can come through the House in a hurry. You were the chairman of the House Budget Committee in your prior political life. Can Congress turn on a dime and put bills on the president's desk? Can they actually make it work, John Kasich?
Well, they should. I mean, what are they there for? I mean, if you're not there to do something, I don't know what the heck you'd be there for. And I think they're going to do that. I mean, I'm very hopeful they're going to do that. Put together a vision of what you think government ought to look like. When you look at the IRS and you look at the VA and you look at Social Security or not Social Security, you get the VA, you got the IRS. Give me the other ones, where we've seen
Secret Service. Yep.
Yeah, Secret Service. I mean, guys climbing over the fence. I mean, when you take a look at that, government is bloated in that town. There has been no real reform in that town. And so, what we really need is we need a vision. We need a vision about entitlements. And here's the other thing that I would tell you. I believe that it is possible to get a better performance out of government that is innovative and actually spends less. We've been able to do it in Ohio. I mean, when I came in, we were $8 billion in the hole. Now we're running $1.5 billion surplus. So to me, there should be a vision that they express about what that place ought to look like, and put it on the table and let the voters ultimately decide. And don't be afraid that somebody's going to criticize you because you have a bold and a new idea. I mean,
I got two questions left. Two questions left. I did not know you got 1 out of 4 African American votes. How did you do among Latino voters, Governor Kasich?
Well, we haven't done the focus in Ohio, and to be honest with you, I don't know what those numbers are. I've only seen the African American numbers, but I just told I said to my wife the other day, because she's very in tune with the community, that we need to really get them together to understand a lot of their agenda, and so it's going to be a focus of mine over the period of the next couple months once I get done resting and everything, and we want to pull them all together. We want to pull the entire minority community together and say, what would you like? What do you think? Because to be honest with you, it isn't that complicated. When we do state contracts, 85% of the contracts go to a majority contractor. I mean, why shouldn't minorities have 15%? I mean, it's just ridiculous, right? Get everybody involved, lift everybody, include everyone, and you got to have a good agenda.
Provided it's not a quota, it's a fair opportunity, you bet. Now, Governor, toughest question of all. Kickoff is in a couple of hours, Browns-Bengals. Who are you cheering for?
Too close to call. You think I'm done with politics? Too close to call.
Come on,
let's before you dump me here. Look, let me just say something. We've got to pay attention to our friends in the minority community. So when you say not a quota, I don't know what a quota means, but there are goals. So in the state of Ohio, there is a goal that we do 15% of all state contracts to minorities. I mean, maybe somebody would call that a quota. I think it's a goal that needs to be met, because we want to make sure that every single group in the state of Ohio and in the country is optimistic and feel they are getting a fair chance. And I don't know, I wouldn't call that a quota. I guess I would call that a goal, and we intend to meet those kinds of goals. I'll give you one last one. The Opportunity Corridor is going to be, I don't know, $300-400 million project in Cleveland. We've set aside 20% for minority contractors because I want them to get work and I want them to become a majority contractor. You got to start somewhere.
I will study up on this. We will spend an hour talking about this, because the line between quota and goal is an important one. The quota is a bad thing. The goal is a good thing. So I look forward to that conversation. Governor John Kasich, hats off to you on an extraordinary political night. Good luck in your second term. We'll talk often, I hope, throughout it. Don't go anywhere, America. Coming back with Chris Salizza, The Washington Post on the Hugh Hewitt Show.